creator, entrepreneur, public speaker, and a mother of one, Yaya. Cindy. And she's here as a mom to ask Mama Muthoni some very important questions that she has in mind. Yeah. So, should we go on?
Yes, sure. So, maybe before we get to Lonzi, I'd want to ask, I mean, we're celebrating Mother's Day tomorrow, yes. Mama Muthoni. And what are some of the habits that, that we should keep from back in the day? We were talking right now about the urban setup and how different it is from probably how we were brought up.
Yeah.
It's different right now. Gadgets are there. We are bringing up our kids in very different ways. What do you think we should still keep from the past that can still work in this urban setup?
Playing outside.
Hakuna mahali pa kucheza. People are living in apartments.
Apartments zote at least zinakuanga na place za kucheza hapo nje. Hata zile ziko nini kwa like in those places that are really packed, outside the gate there's usually a place to play. So play outside. Yeah. Take your kids outside for sun. Vitamin D is so important. And you'd be surprised how many ailments come from the lack of vitamin D. Even in us as adults, there are so many ailments that come from the lack of vitamin D. And for us who are millennials, unajua tunaenda perimenopause, please, let's go outside for sun. At 10 a.m., at 4 p.m., let's go out for sun. And let's take our children out for sun. I know we're usually very keen to taking kids out for sun when they are below the age of 6 months. Yeah. But even our kids who are in school, when they come in the evening, let them go out and play, please. So that's number one. Another one also is, what do the break teens look like? Yeah? Tunazitanga za breaks. Ndio lunchbox, sijui zinitangwa nini squeeze. Najua squeeze, we are very...
I'm happy you have Lonzi here.
We have someone to answer.
We've been learning a lot from her Instagram page.
So I have a series that I do almost every other day called Little Foodies Lunchbox. I show what I pack for my kids' lunchbox. But what does your kids' lunchbox look like? Look like? Hey, Kizungu, ilikuja na meli, please. Yeah, but it has to have at least 2 food groups. You know the way we learned vitamins, proteins, and carbs, it has to have at least 2 of those. It can't just be crepes every day, nani crepes mebai kwa super. Have something that is balanced for your children, and think about what you're serving them every day. If you want to have crepes, fine, but not every day. Have it even maybe once every 2 weeks, but be very, very conscious about what you're feeding them. I have a cookbook that's coming up next month that's going to be having snacks that you can be cooking for your kids and things that you can be packing for your kids, and it's going to be very affordable and very easy to make. But also think about, kitambo, it used to be very nice things, but also we used to have a lot of carbs when we were children for breakfast and for break. So now think about it. Put a fruit, put a veggie, carrots and peanut butter, for example. That's very easy. Apple and peanut butter. That's very easy and very filling. So just think about something that is filling, something that has a fat, something that has a protein. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Maybe, Lonzi, you can touch on that, particularly on the lunch boxes. And I'm sure you also had a question for Mama Muthoni.
I think I recently, when my kids started school, recently started working on bento boxes, and like she's saying, I try to keep it as healthy as possible. And a lot of people have given me feedback saying they've never had ideas, but now they have new ideas. Because feeding kids shouldn't be that complicated. They shouldn't be eating too many calories. So if you have a baby, check out my channel and see. And then Mama Muthoni, so nice to see you and to meet you again. Actually, the Little Foodies book actually really helped us during our weaning time. So you're doing a fantastic job. And I think the one question I would have for you is, after how long, like normally, should your hormones go back to normal after having a baby? Because I swear almost 4 years later I still feel like I have brain fog, So is that normal? Like, what's normal, and when does it all go away?
Wow, I'm not sure that's a question I can answer professionally. That's more of a question that a gynae or a midwife should be able to answer. But they usually say that within 2 years, your brain should be able to go back to normal, especially if your sleep is back to normal. Is your sleep back to normal? That's usually the biggest question. And you should be able to sleep early, at least by 10 o'clock. Sleep with your circadian rhythm. So sleep by 10 o'clock, be up by 6 or 7 a.m. That should be able able to make your brain sleep well, and vitamin D. Vitamin D and magnesium, those two things would also really reduce your brain fog. Yeah.
Nice. And to take you back to food, so for example, my son is 3, almost 4. So what's the calorie range? Like, how many calories should he really be taking? Are you able to give a breakdown as per, like, is it weight-wise or age-wise, about how many calories should a child be
I would have to calculate that based on his height and weight. But what I usually do with children is make their versus looking at calories, because we're not really trying to make children lose weight. We are trying to have children have nutrient dense and majority of times also calorie dense. So when you're looking at food, it needs to be something that is really super nutritious, versus looking at it in terms of how many calories am I feeding my baby. It's how many nutrients am I feeding my baby. Is this thing full of nutrients versus is this thing full of calories? So when you're looking, let's say, at a cake, it's okay to feed cake. There's no food, I believe, that is unhealthy. All food is healthy food. So I really try and teach, don't label foods for children, because when this child is away from you 10 years from now or 15, how old you said your child is 3, so 20 years from now, 17 years from now, when they are away from you, you don't want them to be labeling food and then trying to go and eat the food that you told them not to eat. All food is healthy. The only thing is, are they eating this food in the brain fog?
Quantity.
In the quantities that is allowable. So they can eat cake, they can eat sweets, they can eat the packet crepes. Me, like, for example, we don't really allow packet crepes in my home, but they can eat them just in allowable quantities. So how many times are we eating cake in our home? If we are eating cake, are we eating cake that is full of cream, full of all this, let me call it nonsense, or are we eating cake that we have baked at home that is low in sugar? For example, there's so many recipes here that is low in sugar. So it will have, let's say, one cake that has 1 cup of sugar or half a cup of sugar that has 10 slices. So how much sugar is that? It's not very high in sugar, but it's actually still a cake. So they have actually enjoyed a cake. So you can have a cake, put carrots in it, put vegetables in it. So at the end of the day, it is nutrient dense and they have still enjoyed a treat. So how I would change it is, versus looking at how many calories am I feeding this child, is how many nutrients am I feeding this child in this plate of food. Unless if this child is overly overweight, then now we have to start calculating the macros of this plate, because if a child is 3, then you're really stressing yourself, and then by the time this child is 7 is actually even understanding what you're doing to them, then they'll grow up with a very bad mentality of food. But if you're teaching the child about intuitive eating, are we full? If we are full, we stop. We don't always have to finish our plate, because that's another thing that our parents taught us. When you put food, you must finish. No, we don't have to finish our plate. When we are serving food, we have to serve vegetables, we have to serve carbs, we have to serve veggies, and then this is how we eat our food. When we are full, we stop. Then you're teaching your children how to actually enjoy food, how to eat it, how to stop, how to enjoy a treat, when to enjoy a treat, and then we're having holistic food enjoyment versus calories, which I think is what we were taught when we were teenagers, when we started learning about America's Next Top Model and trying to lose weight and all these things, when now all of us were trying to be thin and, which was not very healthy.
Anorexia.
All right. Becky, do you have one question? Because I'm told we only have 1 more minute.
Oh, 1 more minute to that. Like, I really love your recipes, and I'm loving that Mom Don is also talking about what she has shared in her book. Now, stress, depression, and I know we can't cover everything right now, but a lot of mothers go through that postpartum most of the times. How do you help such? Like, how do you get over all these hormonal changes after giving birth?
After giving birth. I actually went through postpartum depression with my second baby, and I think one of the things that made the biggest difference, number 1, was sleep. Funny enough, just getting enough sleep really was such a big game changer. Number 2 was getting support, and I know the only way I was able to get enough sleep was getting support. And one of the ways to get enough support is first to accept help, look for help, pay for help. My husband was actually one of the biggest help us in that season, because when I went to hospital and I was told if things don't change within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to admit you, I think he panicked and he was like, utaanza kulala saa moja.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. I started sleeping at 7 p.m. and I promise you within 3 days, I was more calm and things really changed for us. So one of the ways you can do that is to maybe get a night nurse. I know it sounds like such a small thing, but sleep really is one of the biggest things that moms, lack of sleep really changes your brain chemistry. Number 2, get therapy. Number 3, see a psychiatrist if you're actually feeling. So first see a therapist, then your therapist will refer you to a psychiatrist. Then if your psychiatrist tells you to take medication, take your medication. It's okay. It's a season. It'll pass. It's not forever. Don't feel like you're failing. It's just a season. It passes. And then if you need to pay for help, pay for help. If you need night nurses, the Mothership Village has night nurses. Come to us. We'll again hold your hand through the season, and then empower your nanny, empower people around you to come around you and hold you and carry you through the season. It passes.
Mama Muthoni, we do not have any extra minute, but maybe you could tell us where we could find you, as well as the little foodie book, as well as you, Lonzi, as we conclude.
Where to find me? The Mothership Village, at the Mothership Village on Instagram and TikTok. And then for me, myself, Kizungu, at Mama Muthoni KE on Instagram and TikTok as well.
All right. And for Lonzi?
So mine is Lonzi Katabaki across all social media.
Absolutely. This is The Pink Perspective. We'll be back shortly.
She's crazy like a fool.